Breaking news.
Now, this is something Chris Broussard has been talking about for the last week or two. He was on our show, I think, yesterday. I kind of made fun of him because he kind of buried the lead. Here it was.
I'll be surprised if Kyrie plays in the playoffs. I'm not. Yes, I will.
Whoa!
I said it on here a couple weeks ago that he might be out for the season, and I know it's not definite. I'm not saying it's definite, but I'm at the point where I think Boston understands we're not going to win the East. We're not going to win the finals. Let's get Kyrie healthy. I'd be surprised if he's back in the second round if they get that far.
Okay, that was the wow. It's been confirmed. My first takeaway is, listen, I've said it before. Kyrie's rep, remember, his last year at Duke, his only year at Duke, he was hurt. Before LeBron, he was always hurt. After LeBron, he's hurt. He's injury prone. You can't deny it now. He only played 8 games at Duke. Like, when you look at Greg Oden's career, he was hurt young. He got hurt initially. Here he got hurt later. Kyrie Irving only played 8 games at Duke. And then he went into the NBA. He was getting you 60 games. And then LeBron comes in, and he didn't have to be the emotional or physical leader of the franchise. And then LeBron leaves. Now he drives to the arena every night. Physically, you got to play 42 minutes. You got to emotionally carry the team. They're coming to you. It takes a toll on you. He's hurt again. So my first takeaway is he is now an injury-prone player, more so than Steph Curry, who is injury-prone. Much more so. Here's the second thing. Don't mess with LeBron. Be very careful about leaving Michael. Brady, Peyton Manning, Magic. You got to be careful. I know LeBron's can be tedious, and I know he can be obtuse, and I know he can be frustrating, and I know he overwhelms you, and I know he's cryptic, and I know he sends messages. I'm not denying any of that. But, man, he is so durable. I've said this before. When they write the book on LeBron, you're going to say points, rebounds, titles. And I've always said with LeBron, chapter 2 or 3 better be durability. I mean, Michael Jordan broke a leg, missed a year. Michael Jordan retired. LeBron's going to his 7th or 8th straight final. 7th already, probably 8th. So my first takeaway is Kyrie is an injury-prone player. That is not even arguable anymore, college and pro. Secondly, be very careful when you leave superstars. They make life a lot easier. The grass is always greener. You know, a lot of guys want to leave the great wife has a lot more value than you're giving her credit for.
But this injury has nothing to do with whether he's playing with LeBron or not.
What it has to do with, the only time he's been really healthy is that 3-year stretch. That's just the data. I think college,
that's a fluke.
3 years. Okay, maybe this is all fluky. He just didn't get hurt with LeBron.
I will say, though, I think that this has to be worse than they originally thought. Because if it wasn't that bad, you'd think that they'd try and see how far they made it in the playoffs and that he could play again. But I do know that they're going to release something later today about his health status. I think it's going to be a bigger deal than we think.
Okay, here's another thing. If you're saying to yourself, okay, that we just don't want to risk injury. Okay, like let's say that is, and I'm not saying that's not true or true, but let's say Boston this morning is saying, hey, listen, we are going to, we're not going to play him this year because we don't think we're going to win the title, even if we had him. Just never forget this. The Philadelphia 76ers are young, and the Philadelphia 76ers are going to be better next year than this year. So the Eastern Conference, we know it's not great, but we also know that Philadelphia is a real threat going forward. This was considered, the next couple of years, this was going to be Boston territory. So if you're just giving up this year, LeBron's not going anywhere, and the Sixers are better than we thought at this point, although I do think they have a little Bitcoin quality. So,
even with your guy Joel now?
Excuse me?
Well, Joel Embiid out with the orbital
Yeah,
injury.
I mean, listen, here's the thing about injuries, is that certain people, I'll give you an example. There was a football player named John Lynch. He's now the Niners general manager. John was a Fox broadcaster, and John played football for years and years. I covered him in Tampa. One of the best guys I've ever covered. We've had him on the couch. He's a great guy. John Lynch was the hardest hitting safety in the NFL for about 12 years. John Lynch never had a concussion. Ask him. Some guys are just built to withstand heat. I used to cover a guy in Portland. Big, handsome, tough, Brian Grant. Every other year he was hurt. Kyrie gets hurt. RG3 gets hurt. There are some guys that are not built to withstand the punishment and the banging on the floor. Steph Curry is injury prone. He is fragile. He is thin. Steph gets hurt a lot. LeBron doesn't. Kobe Bryant, until the very end when he was in his 18th, 19th year and his body couldn't take. Kobe Bryant gave you games. Michael Jordan did, Michael gave games. John Stockton had 1 year he got hurt. He gave you games. Karl Malone gave you games. We have a trend here. Steph Curry and more Kyrie Irving are fragile. In fact, here are the games missed by Kyrie year by year. I mean, these are big numbers. 14, 23, 11, 29, 10, 22. Those are big, big numbers. You get into a quarter of the season, 3 of the last. Yeah, by the way, his 2 healthiest seasons, 7 games and 10 games with LeBron. So I do think there's something there. Let's bring in Michael Rappaport, who was actor, director, producer, and NBA diehard. Okay, Rappaport.